Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Indigo Playroom. This is NFK. This is Not for Kids, the first in a series of games that we are going to be playing here on Indigo. It's great. We got a Dread Tower set up, and we're going to be playing a little game of Dread set within the realm of Blood and Bourbon. For all of y'all that have been paying attention to the Discord, let's get started with a few announcements before we get into the nitty gritty of stuff. It is Friday night. Yeah, it is Friday night. It is Friday night. Sunday night we got game night, and then coming up after game night in the Indigo Playroom, we got Tuesday night, which is Wonder, where the group had some interesting things happen, including Grim stealing a child, or trying to steal a child, or possibly stealing a child, or talking about stealing a child, and all sorts of hallucinatory happenstances happened last week. So we got to figure out the ending of that. Tune in for more of that, and we'll see what happens. Who is that?
That's Alcaboose Bender.
Alcaboose Bender, we love you, we miss you. We do not have nearly the amount of signature drinks that we would have if you were here, buddy, but we love you and miss you. And then after that, Thursday is going to be a creative chaos night with lots of fun stuff coming down the pipeline for that. And then who knows what will happen. You'll have to stay tuned to the Discord to find out about all sorts of fun stuff.
There's also a channel in the Discord for helping us to figure out what we're doing for creative chaos. Last time we had Pinterest chaos, and we would love more Pinterest projects to fail at miserably.
I showed Tracy Indigo one today, and it was a D&D set made out of cardboard and popsicle sticks. But it is
they don't all have to be popsicle sticks.
Mining. It's a mining track where you climb up a mining track. It almost looks like a level from Donkey Kong.
It's almost like a dungeon for Dungeons and Dragons, but instead it's got multi-levels, and it's a mountain.
It is a multifaceted adventure. So that might be one of the creative chaos adventures that we have. That being said, this is the first episode of NFK, Not for Kids. We are going to be taking fun games like the Dread system, or taking fun games from your childhood. Things like Don't Break the Ice. Things like Concentration. Things like
with the
Topple.
Operation.
And incorporating those into storytelling. So you'll have to tune in for any future episodes of NFK. Tonight, we want to do something fun. Tonight, you, dear audience that happens to be tuning in and watching, is going to be working together to collectively screw over these players. So we have some goals set forth. 100 bits is 100 bits is the boop on the snoot. But once we hit the 300 bits goal, I will be incorporating a D4 into the mix. And instead of saying you need to make a pull, every time I will roll the D4, and that's how many pieces they have to pull. At 500.
Wait, hang on. So I understand this. This is 300 bits, not somebody donated 300 bits. This is if people did 3 boops on the snoot, all of a sudden we're at 300 bits total for the stream.
Correct.
And we are now rolling D4s.
Correct.
Why do I feel like
at 500,
isn't good for any of us?
At 500, we unlock the D6.
I'm scared.
D6.
And at 1,000, we unlock the D8.
Wait, only 500, and now all of a sudden we're pulling 6 bricks?
Only if you roll a 6.
I'm suddenly glad I didn't re-up my bits tonight.
We also want to thank our bits girl / producer tonight, One Big Uno. Thank you, One Big Uno.
Thank you.
One Big Uno, if you want to grab your coaster at any point, it is right.
You're going to need to do some push-ups. It's really heavy.
Okay, he is going to be bringing that for a future NFK, Not for Kids, so that we can incorporate that into a game of Dread.
What?
More of that later. That being said...
He knows.
He does know. We talked. So, you don't know all my business.
And suddenly Abigail's attacks Remy.
All right, we are now going deep into this game of Dread. For those of you that don't know about the game of Dread is a role-playing game where these players are going to tell a collective story. However, this story and all of the stories usually associated with the Dread system are those of horror and suspense. And that feeling of dread that you feel as you're running from a monster, or that cold water hits your veins, is represented by the Jenga tower. And anytime you need your character to do something that's a little bit out of the realm, or maybe they're a little on edge, you will pull a brick from the Jenga tower. All right? So, any questions before we get started? All right, let's begin. This story takes place at a place that's familiar to some and maybe new to others. This story is going to take place at the Green Fay Tavern in New Orleans. Now, the Green Fay Tavern is a meeting place, bastion. It means many things to, thank you so much. I don't know what that was, but.
Goofy was hosting.
Goofy, thank you too.
Goofy.
The Green Fay Tavern means many things to many different people. For all of y'all, it means a little something different. So I would like for each of y'all to pull a brick and describe your character that you're going to be playing tonight. Okay? Why don't we start at the very end over there with Meowbit? Yeah. Who are you going to be playing tonight?
Tonight I will be playing Lee, as she works at the Green Fay. She has recently taken a position of DJ / party hype man, and is making the music run. So Nephi says that she's pretty good at it. So we shall see.
Perfect. What does Lee look like?
Lee is she's about, I don't know. She's because I've got a picture in my mind, and so she's like 5'8". She's slender, athletic, and she generally wears gowns, hair usually half up. She's kind of traditionally kind-faced.
Pretty.
She's pretty, but not in like the way that our dear other friends in the tavern are.
All right. Audie, who are you going to be playing tonight?
Oh, that's fine.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Claudia, and I am 2 days old. I'm 2 days old, and I'm like, what you think of a party girl is what I look like. I don't know why I'm doing a southern accent. She's not southern. It rubs off.
Slide into
Just
it
rubbed
so
off on you.
It rubs off.
Yeah.
She's about 5 foot, nothing. Thick. Long blonde hair, and always done up in glitter.
All right.
Always glitter.
Always with. All right. Oswald, what you got?
I'm playing good old Jed. Jed is your every coin flipping, silver tongued con man that you can think of. Kind of embodies Jed. He also is pretty skilled with making different drinks, both the hurtful and the non-hurtful kind. He stands about 6'1", 6'2", and just likes to attract the audience.
All right. Last but not least.
What you guys can't see is there are a couple of cats acting pretty crazy here right now. Hi, I'm Abigail. I have known the owner of the bar, Nephi, for a very long time. I grew up on a southern plantation. And right now I am kind of the main bartender when I'm not off flirting or doing something else that has nothing to do with bartending. But officially I'm the bartender.
Alone.
I just get
It's like when you give somebody an honorary degree.
I just get a lot of help, whether they plan to or not, if people want drinks.
Yeah.
So
I should probably
We've all been the bartender at some point.
And well, Jed makes drinks, but maybe not for the.
Not for the bar.
So here's our list of characters. The 3 ladies, lovely ladies sitting here at the couch, are all vampires. They're all undead, and they bring with them some powers to the table. Some of them more than others. And we got one live beating heart sitting here.
Delicious.
Con man. We go now to a night at the Green Fay Tavern. This is not the Green Fay that y'all are familiar with, so we're stepping way clear of the lines of canon and things like that. But the characters are all the same.
Parallel universe.
Parallel
Green
universe.
Fang.
Third timeline.
Got it.
Yeah, third time.
So if I just kill everybody off, we're fine, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, just check.
Okay.
The night. Spoilers. The night was fairly busy. All of y'all had a good time, just sort of carousing and having drinks and things like that. But all good nights must come to an end. Daylight is about an hour away, and as daylight starts to creep closer and closer, you find yourselves, just the four of y'all, sitting there with Remy. Remy is a cowboy. He works security at the bar. He's currently missing an eye. But y'all are sitting there enjoying each other's company and swapping stories and having drinks when you hear a loud banging coming from the front door of the Green Fay Tavern.
And it's not Abigail?
No, Abigail, in a rare occurrence, is actually inside the bar.
Behind the bar?
No, let's not go that
There's a line.
far. She's in the bar.
Well, that's weird.
So the
Remy, aren't you gonna go check that out? I mean, pull
Mr.
out all 17 of your
Security.
guns and go shoot something?
Remy stands up and stretches and makes his way close to the bar, and there is and it is the sound of a very small bullet hole being driven through the front door, this large oak door of the Green Fay Tavern. And Remy sort of looks down at his shoulder, and he turns back to look at all of you, and he goes to say something, and then there's as 5 more bullets sort of appear in front of him, and he doesn't think anything of it. He actually goes to brush it off, and as he goes to brush it off, this creeping fire starts at his chest, and it sort of blossoms outward, and he sort of looks down, and he makes eye contact with all of y'all, and crumbles into ash.
You just
in a
took
matter
out
of
Remy.
seconds.
You just killed Remy!
You jerk.
As that happens, 3 canisters come in from the different windows around the Green Fay Tavern. They are smoking. They burst through the windows and hit the ground. What are y'all doing?
I run downstairs.
Okay.
Well, it looks like you're screwed, but we can.
Claudia
I'm just gonna do this and try to like.
Claudia gets up and just takes a running start.
Follow me!
Heads downstairs. I need everybody that's making a run for it to go ahead and pull a brick for me, just because you're on edge. This is just to maintain balance. Now, you don't have to pull a brick here. This is just ensuring that you do not misstep and manage to make it through the smoke better than normal. But you do not have to pull here. This is only if you want to ensure that you get through there quick and easy.
Just to make sure. Jen's a klutz.
Oh, dear.
So Claudia says, "Follow me," and sort of takes off running. She heads down the steps, and as she does, shapes start to come in through the front door of the Green Fay Tavern. A lot of them are wearing sort of black body armor, covering from the arms up. There's a person that sort of walks in who is completely naked. He's got dark skin. And he is standing there. He's got white tattoos that travel up his arms, all the way around and down, and covering his chest. And he's just sort of standing there amidst the smoke and these beings that are behind him.
Naked?
Completely naked.
I have moved behind the bar for
Okay.
once.
All right.
I have my derringer out.
Okay.
And I am ducked down behind and peeking out at them, getting ready to shoot.
You two have left. Y'all are downstairs.
We're
correct?
downstairs. Yeah, we've gone downstairs.
Lee is running backwards in a dress, so she's not. I'm not pulling anything for this scenario,
Okay.
but phone in hand and waiting and watching while moving backwards.
Okay.
And just
You
kind
start
of
to
try
move
to get-
backwards. As you do, this man sort of steps forward into the bar, and he walks forward a little bit. He's got long, dark, like hair that goes down to about his shoulders. It's a little curly. His skin is dark. His eyes are these piercing gray eyes, and his lips are sewed up
Oh no,
Ah.
Brody.
all from the top. And these men have come into the bar and have started circling around the bar. All the way around, like starting to file in, and it doesn't look like there's any end inside to these men just starting to circle around the bar.
How thick is the smoke at this point?
Smoke is pretty thick, but it looks like they're wearing some sort of mask or anything that's preventing them from doing it. As the smoke starts clearing, y'all don't have to breathe, so you're not having any issues with it. But you're downstairs, and so you're a little bit out of the path of the smoke.
Okay.
Okay, how many are there?
I would say there's about 15 surrounding the bar.
15. But all inside?
All inside.
Okay, and the guy with the lips sewed shut, he looks like the leader, or they all have their lips sewed shut?
They're all wearing masks, except for the man who's standing there in the front.
I'm gonna go to where my old room was, and I'm gonna grab a gun under my bed and give it to him. Very defenseless and has no powers, and I'm gonna alert the other red ribbons at the bottom that things are happening to get out.
To get moving.
Okay. I will let you do this then.
Okay.
I'm gonna pray on something that I think is key to you. I'm gonna let you pull
Okay.
to see if all the red ribbons get out.
Is this after
That
Abby
tower's
got
so
her
wonky already.
powers?
This is a
That tower's already scary.
there's a back door.
Claudia, you facilitate them getting out. You're sort of new to the lifestyle of being part of the undead, but as you go out the door and sort of swing it open, you see another one of those figures there, sort of standing there, full body armor, not holding anything. But as you swing the door open, you realize he's there and give it just a second to shove that door as hard as you can, and it knocks him back a little bit, giving them just enough time.
Wow.
Now, he's a little knocked off balance.
Uh-huh.
You have the option of standing outside or closing the door.
I'm waiting till they're gone and closing the door and locking it up.
As the last of the red ribbons sort of take off in one direction, he stands up and looks over at you, or the facsimile of, since you can't see his eyes, and as you do, you slam the door closed.
All right, they can't see me. I gotta confront him somehow. I say,
Charm as a power. In case you forgot.
yeah, but not 15 at once.
Yeah.
One.
All you need is the leader.
Well, we'll see.
Well, you do. If you peek out, you will see me standing there, moving backwards.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the guy with the leader guy is fairly close to the bar, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's within eyesight.
So I step out with my most charming personality.
The Derringer.
For behind the
Yeah,
bar.
well, the Derringer, yeah, but the Derringer's at the ready, but it's underneath the skirt.
Okay.
Because the skirt's kind of hiked up a little bit.
All right.
And I say, what are you doing in my bar?
Make a pull.
Is this when Nefeli was gone? Like, am I in charge
Is-
right now?
is Nefeli
basically?
there?
Nefeli is not there.
Of course she's not.
Oh, jeez.
What could be more
supposed to
important
be
than
like
right
this
now?
already.
What could be more important than right now?
She lived for a while, though. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is not supposed to be this bad this early.
This is-
What have you done?
Because we can't drink. we
Because we can't drink. Think about what's in the personality.
As you say, what are you doing in my bar? The gentleman that's completely nude from the waist down, that's covered in white markings down his arms, sort of steps forward, and as he does, he turns his head like this. And as he turns his head, you see no ear on this side of his head. And it looks like it's been, whatever sort of wound was there has been cauterized. And he turns around to the other side, and you see that there's no ear on that side as
You
well.
can't hear me.
And that wound is cauterized. And he walks forward towards you. And as he walks forward towards you, he reaches out a hand and squeezes. And that pull was to instinctively sort of shift over to the side. And as he does, the wooden bar folds like this in half.
Go ahead if you had something to
I
do.
have nothing right now.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay, well,
There's pounding on the door. as you hear a multitude of hands start pounding on the door.
On the door just closed.
The door that you two just closed.
Can I find some way to barricade it?
There's beds. Grab beds, dressers, something, rooms, go.
You can barricade the door.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a dresser and try to barricade the door best I can.
All right. You barricade the door as best you can. You start pushing stuff up against it, and it's going to hold for a little bit longer.
I'm gonna go back upstairs very slowly, stealthily.
Leah, what are you doing?
So I've just come backwards away from the fog, and I don't think I've ever tried to use obfuscate anywhere near fog before, especially false fog that's created by some kind of smoke. So she's gonna try and blend into the shadows and see if it even works.
Obfuscate is what Dom can do.
And cuts back
disappear
around the room
things.
Okay.
to behind them, try to get behind them.
So you sort of blend in with the shadows a little bit and sort of move your way. You start creeping your way along the hall. As this man sort of steps forward a little bit, his eyes shift to downstairs where you're coming up from the stairs, and takes a finger and goes like this.
Courtesy times.
Are you downstairs still by the door?
Are you
Is there
following
a
me
place?
back up?
Is there a place where I can kind of like sit on the staircase and watch the door and see if like look hard and I can kind of like peek up like at shoe length on the top floor?
I can. So you want to like creep up the stairs and just sort of see if you can peek your head up.
Yeah, see if I can just like see shoe level, but just enough that if something.
I would
bangs
say, based on
downstairs-
your background, you're sneaky enough to be able to, like you've done this before,
Okay.
where you've augmented, you've had to sneak.
Being a creep.
So you all watch as Claudia is beckoned into the room. As Claudia is beckoned into the room, the gentlemen pull their guns out,
Gentlemen.
and the man that is standing there stark naked reaches behind him. And as he reaches behind him, one of the gentlemen does a flap on his chest and pulls out a wooden stake and rolls it on the ground till it's equidistant between Abigail and Claudia.
Am I trapped? Can I move?
Yeah, you're fine. You're
fine?
And he goes over to where one of the tables are, grabs a chair, drags the chair on the ground, places it in front, and sits in the chair.
He's playing the Joker game. You know,
Goodness.
we've got tryouts.
What is happening?
Okay,
Oh,
upstairs right now,
Is the two of you.
it's the two of us. And we've got this one guy. What are the other people doing? All around?
Right now they have their guns drawn and they are facing forward.
Facing forward, like towards me?
Towards you, all of
Towards
you.
me. Okay, so I've got to get out of there, and so does Lee. And how far away am I from her?
From Lee, you don't know where Lee is.
Okay,
you knew
so
she
you
was in the
disappeared,
bar
huh?
and then she disappeared.
Okay.
It's me and you,
Yeah.
and there's a stake between us, and he just sat down.
Right. Shoot, we got to get out of here. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
I
agree
Okay.
wholeheartedly. I'm gonna look at the stake and look at the guy that sat down, and just like, what do you want?
Make a pull to guarantee you get out of the way or stand still. He reaches up again, and you manage to shift just fast enough so that only your finger breaks, not your whole arm.
Ooh.
And he points over to the wooden stake on the ground.
Rude. Okay. Ow. I'll pick up the stake, I guess.
As you pick up the stake, all the men carrying guns take their guns and they holster them behind them.
Oh.
I'm gonna stop walking wherever I like as far as I've gotten. I'm gonna stop where I was if I can make that out.
Sure,
If I can hear the guns re-enter.
you can see it.
Done.
Yeah.
Stopping, paying attention.
The other guys look like they could talk. Like they're not all sewed up.
No, they have masks on.
Okay, so I pick out one of them
Okay.
and say, "Why are you here?"
Okay. He will look at you, and he will walk forward towards the man that is standing there, and all in black. He'll take out his gun, and he'll hand it to one of the other guys in line. They'll take it and they'll shoulder it, and he'll kneel in front of the man that's standing there, and the mask will look over at you, look up at the man who's standing there. The man will reach down and snap his neck,
Don't talk to them.
and he falls to the ground.
Don't talk to them.
I'm gonna try something, and
They want
I'm
us to kill each
I'm gonna try something stupidly daring, but he would do it, and it's gonna get him killed. I can feel it.
Okay.
Jed, no.
Oh, hold on.
We're only
I'm
5
gonna
minutes
I'm
in.
gonna holster the gun the best I can.
Okay. Conceal it.
Conceal it as best as I can.
All right.
I'm gonna go up the stairs and kind of like put my hands up, like, hey, you guys are here for obviously for reasons that don't involve me, because one of these things are not like the other, and I'm not it.
Yeah.
And see how they react to it.
You're basically going, I don't belong here.
Yeah, I'm just, we have reasons for him being here, and I'm not that reason.
You come up the stairs, and as you come up the stairs, there's this creak, and you all sort of look back to see Jet sort of looking up. He's got that that smile, that hey, like,
How's it going?
is there a problem, officers?
I swear to drink, I'm not God.
Exactly.
Jet, something weird happens as you come up the stairs. Everything sort of stops as this man that's covered in the tattoos. Some of the tattoos flare up a little bit when you enter the room. That's the first time they've sort of flared up. And he walks forward, and you recognize this man.
Oh.
This man was living in Arkansas in a homestead a long time ago. And he got one of your very first potions.
This is your fault.
And you remember exactly, because out of all of the formulas that you so carefully did over the years, you have no fucking clue what you gave this man. This is when you were first starting off, but you recognize him.
You gave him immortality on accident.
Oh no.
And he'll walk over to where you're standing, Jed, and he'll look down at the stake, and he'll look down at the pin that you're wearing on your lapel that claims you as a Green Fay Tavern person. And he'll reach out and bring his arm up like this and smack it as hard as he can. And as he smacks it as hard as he can, the pin breaks. And as the pin breaks, a shard of it enters your skin and your heart stops. But you're okay.
Okay.
I mean, you're hungry,
Oh no.
but you're okay.
Oh.
You came the pain you fear most.
Oh
Congratulations.
my goodness.
And as he does that, he reaches out a hand again, and another member reaches into their chest and pulls out a second wooden stake and throws it on the ground.
I'm sorry, I tried.
Do I see any sort of
I'm
look
gonna
on
go
his
collect
face?
the second steak, so I
On
have
his
both of
face?
them.
You see that something's wrong, and his skin got real pale real quick.
You gonna tell us something?
I'm gonna walk over and get the other steaks.
There's
so that I have
There's a
both of them.
chance. There's a small chance.
The small
Claudia has picked up both wooden stakes.
There's a small chance. What? It looks like we don't have a lot of time for you to spit it out.
Yeah, hey, it's one of those. It's one of those things.
It's one of those.
I was young. I was dumb, and
We were all young and dumb. We don't have 20 faceless guys coming after us. So what'd you do?
hey.
Chris, do me a favor. I need you to remember a number for me.
There might have
I need
been.
you to remember the number 20.
pulls out his phone.
There
I
might
got
have
it.
been a chance that I created this guy.
Roll a D4, Tracy.
That
That's not a
That's a
D4.
D6.
That's a D6. I'm not paying attention.
No, we'll take that one.
No,
Did
no,
you
no.
roll?
That was a
No.
5.
It was a 5? Cool. So mark it down to a 15, please. As the circle gets tighter.
Ah.
Oh, no.
And they take a couple of steps forward a little bit, tightening the circle.
Did you know it's a steak?
And I can't remember anything from. I can't remember what he drank other than.
Is there any chance that apologizing to these people will make them go away? Because maybe you should try that.
Hey, it's worth a shot. I mean.
Then go. Apologize.
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
Yeah, he just like broke my shoulder and turned me. I'm not apologizing to this asshole. I'm not
Did you
doing it.
hurt these people?
Huh?
Did you hurt these
Of
people?
course not.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
All right, fine. You're going to be the first one to die, or you could try apologizing.
I mean,
or try
I don't
asking
know
them
him that
politely to
well, and I
leave.
have the steak.
This is bogus.
Or I could try shooting you in the face.
I mean, that's not going to help anything. Now you're down one person. You're still got people. who
No,
wanna
but
do
I'm
it.
getting really pissed off, and I
I
do
can
things when I
underst-
get pissed
I
off.
can understand that. It's okay. All right. I'm gonna go talk to him.
A bold move. Let's see if it pays off.
I'm gonna, you know,
It didn't work the first
Jet
time.
walks forward.
I'm gonna
towards,
try.
I could literally light a fire under your ass.
Oh, you should.
You have fire powers.
But it's one of those like. He'd never admit to it though. That's the thing.
Sorry, I made you weird.
Yeah. All I know is that he got one of the first batches, right?
one of your very first ones.
Oh, the very first batch.
I am watching as he is talking for the dude's reaction as close as possible, see if it changes or anything.
Jed starts to walk forward, and he's got this stammering look on his face as he's trying to recall stuff. And as he comes forward, the man puts one hand up to his mouth. And as he does, he starts tugging at the thing is there, and bits of his face start coming off
Yeah, no.
with the string. His lip gets caught at one point, and he just yanks it really hard like this, and a part of his face sort of comes off with it.
I can fix that.
Not the time.
And he takes the string and opens his mouth a little bit, and there's this plume of dust and rock, and he goes, "Chad."
You done goofed.
I grab him by the shirt and drag him towards them and say, "Is this what you're looking for to
Hey,
leave?
hey, man. Hey, whoa.
Because we can give him to you and you can be on your merry way."
Whoa. No one's
I'll stab him if you
me.
want me to.
Claudia walks forward and goes, "You want me to stab him?"
I'm not attached to him when he's dead. I have no qualms with this.
A man at the far corner that's wearing the suit
Uh-huh. Oh, there's a different dude here.
clicks off the helmet,
Uh-huh.
pulls it up,
Uh-huh.
and he is real bad,
Oh no.
really burned,
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
and takes the helmet off and puts it down. You thought it was a he, but the hair's been melted off, and the burn scars are still there. And
Do I recognize this person?
you do. You've only seen her one time.
What is she wearing? Just a suit? It's my mom. I run forward and stab her through the chest.
With the wooden stake.
Yes.
Wooden stake comes up, pushes forward. You can get this hit off, but if you want to ensure that it goes deep, you need to pull
I'm taking both of them.
both.
And
okay.
her.
Who is this person?
This
my
is her
mama.
mother that you helped kill.
Her. Oh. I didn't realize I helped.
You set her house on fire.
Oh, that's right. That was her house. I forgot. It was her house.
Oh, jeez.
That's right.
It's the ghosts of our past.
The two stakes go forward, and you shove them in and sort of push them forward like this. They intersect and hit, and you feel this like clink as they press past the body armor. And as they press past the body armor, there is this outpouring of energy from the hole as the wooden stakes themselves start vibrating a little bit, and the man in the corner sort of reaches out a hand that's standing in front of Jed. A little bit of that white tattoo comes off of him, flows from his finger down the ground, snakes past you, into where that woman is standing, and she stands up a little bit taller.
Oh, damn.
There is no recognition in her eyes. As that happens, more people start taking off helmets.
Oh, great. They're all people. Okay.
And you recognize victims. You recognize people from a party a long time ago. Some other burn victims, where those burns are old. And as these helmets start coming off, you're seeing people that you all recognize. People that have been cheated or fed upon over the years.
I've
And
only
there's
killed one person.
no recognition in those faces.
Can I pull the stakes back out?
No.
Yay, family reunion.
How far am I
Shut
from?
up.
How far is Lee from the fellow that had his neck snapped at this point?
Somewhat far.
Okay.
I would say you're closer to the entrance of the bar.
Okay.
If you leave us, I will kill you.
No.
When I see
She-
you.
Give me another D4 roll. This time it's you, buddy.
Oh.
4. Perfect.
You're not
Oh, dear.
anymore.
11.
Oh.
This is bad.
Everybody tightens the circle just a little bit, and
Listen, you guys just tried to give me up. So
more
I
time
have
has
no
gone
remorse.
by, and you're starting to see the sky lighten a little bit.
Shit.
And the windows are broken.
Yeah. So, I think Lee's
Never
gonna
mind,
try
I
and
can't go
move
outside.
You
across
can't go outside
to the
anymore.
fellow that had his neck snapped,
Okay.
and go for pulling him back away from the rest of the group, hopefully without being seen.
This is
but-
going to take a lot
Yeah.
because you're breaking the line and you're pulling him away.
Yeah.
So if you want to make 2 pulls for me,
Cool.
I'm fine with that. Or you
I'm
could
so
do 1
sure.
pull to just pull him back. 1 pull to pull him back, 2 to make sure nobody sees you do it.
Cool.
Okay. We gotta figure something out.
Gotta figure out something real here soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh dear God.
man.
I practiced.
Oh,
I practiced. I swear.
It's all right. It's all right. So you guys watch as some of you notice, but nobody else seems to, as Lee sort of grabs this sort of individual very quickly and scurries them back behind into this
Lee, what are you? I'm kidding.
darkened alcove.
Shut up.
that
You
y'all-
better not.
That y'all are familiar with.
Oh, that Remy threw the guy
that
in.
Remy through the guy
Yeah.
that we've kind of used as sort of a boo hole over the years, the Green Fae. So she manages to drag him back a little bit. As that happens, the man looks over at you, sees your finger broken. He looks over at you and sees your shoulder hurt. And he looks over at the bar and he sees you still standing. And he.
Does my finger not heal?
Hmm?
My finger doesn't heal?
No.
Interesting.
He looks over at you and he will glance toward your legs and clap his hands like this. And I need you to make a pull or just accept whatever damage is done.
No, I'm gonna make a roll.
You just break the toe.
Loud noises. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of what to do.
There's.
I'm so I'm
There's
shaking
3.
at this point.
Don't write with that. No.
Don't do that to me,
Abigail,
Tracy.
Oh
don't
my
do
God,
it to
oh
me.
my God,
Don't
oh my
do it to us.
Tracy.
Abigail!
Love me.
Abigail's
No arm rubs for you.
No arm rubs for you.
Abigail's feet go out from underneath her, and her knees hit the ground. And as her knees sort of slam down towards the ground, she plants both hands on the ground and manages to catch herself. But the vibrations, the shocks, sort of go up your arms a little bit as you sort of land on the ground very forcefully. And as your arms hit the ground, there's a push on your back. And you're having to do this thing where you're sort of staring at him and he's still got his hands clapped together like this. And it almost feels like he's pushing down on your back. So your hands have caught you.
Do I see this?
Oh, this,
Yeah.
Can I? He's right in front of me.
this is the leader guy.
This
that's
is the
doing
leader
this.
guy.
He's doing this like Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm
I want to do something. It's stupid. It's so stupid. I'm
Do
going
it.
to do something
I've already
stupid.
done something stupid. Come on,
Oh, I'm
Jason.
about to do something
Because
stupid
I'm
too.
down,
Let's get
right?
I'm into
He's
it.
doing this,
Right.
and I'm down,
Right.
Because I've had a lot of practice with a gun, and I'm
Sure.
good with my Derringer.
Sure.
So I'm gonna grab my Derringer and I want to shoot him right through the hands, the two hands together.
Perfect.
How many do I have to pull for it?
Oh god.
I've accepted I'm gonna have to pull a lot.
No, I don't think you. I think you'll have to because you're good. You're a good shot. You can pick one pull for me to make the shot through the hands.
Don't hit me, please. He's right in front of me.
This.
Don't.
Let's move these credits.
Yeah, can somebody grab that whiskey, please? I'm more worried about that than I am about the power.
Jeez.
Jesus.
We cannot drink.
You and Nepheli are gonna have very stern talking too.
All of a sudden, y'all watch as Abby is sort of like pushing her hands down. And
I don't know who Coil's Suited Hero is, but he's telling us to drink
That's one
more.
of my coworkers.
Hi,
Gil.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just
Interrupt.
following the request.
Abby is sort of looking forward, and as she's pushing down, she waits till the last minute till she feels like this force is gonna shove her into the ground, and with that last sort of breath, she lets go of her hands, reaches down, grabs the gun, and as the weight snaps her down towards the ground, she manages to pull off one shot. The bullet passes cleanly through both of the hands, and as they pass cleanly through both of the hands, he brings both hands down like this, and there's a hole down here through this hand and this hand, and as he does, you watch as the holes appear on every single person standing in this room.
Oh
Of like
Oh.
right through the center, and every single person standing in the room.
Where is he
Hold on,
irrelevant
hold
to
on.
me?
Idea. Crazy idea, but
I'm nowhere near
it
you.
just might work. How far am I from her?
You can't see her.
You don't know where she is.
I don't know. How close are you to me?
I'm dragging a body. Where did the guy with the snapback fall?
My question is this.
Okay.
Theatrics might be the best of us in this one. They obviously want one of us to off ourselves. I think that's where we need to go with this.
Oh, good.
No, hear me out. You could. Is there still smoke? Is there?
It's dissipated at
It's
this
dissipated
point.
at this point.
Entirely.
Not entirely.
Not entirely. Like on the ground floor a little bit.
Yep.
Give me a steak.
They're in my mom. Sorry.
Dear diary.
They are embedded in my mother. I apologize.
There was a nice little play I could have done with that.
Nice.
Never mind.
Nice
I'm gonna
try,
retract.
but sorry.
Give me a steak. They're in my mom.
They're in my mom.
Your mom has steaks.
And mashed potatoes. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Where is he to me? Like, is he like from where I
Chris, that
stood
wasn't
up
a
for my
request.
mom, looked back? Is
You
he,
guys
like,
are all somewhat close together, with the exception of Lee, who's off in a sort of.
But like, am I facing his back? Am I facing his front? Where is he?
So
Him?
No,
And-
him.
So damn
You're
it,
facing
Jamie
his front.
is everybody.
He's looking. Can he can see me?
Yeah.
Never mind.
He looks down at his hands, and there's this look of shock on his face as he looks down over to where you are.
I'm gonna walk towards him.
And you walk towards him. He walks towards Abby, who's still sort of on the ground a little bit. And as he reaches down, he grabs Abby's hand and lifts it up in the air like this. You just gonna let him?
Oh no, I'm shooting all the fire I have in my being out towards him.
Okay. So he lifts up Abby's hand, and as the fire comes forward, it sort of engulfs him. And as it engulfs him, everybody around the circle catches on fire a little
Ah!
Oh shit.
That's creepy.
bit. And then there's this,
He's gonna kill us.
and the fire starts swirling out of your hand, and he starts inhaling it.
I'm so sorry.
It starts going in, and as much fire as you're producing, he's inhaling it, and the fire starts sort of dissipating around from the
Okay.
other
While
people in
he's
the room.
distracted, I'm walking towards Jed and getting the gun from him,
Okay.
and it's like a big gun. It's
Yeah.
not like a little thing. It's a big gun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go at his head.
If I would have done that, I would have done that an hour ago.
You had the gun. Why didn't you?
I thought it was a handgun.
He's sucking up this fire, and as he sucks up this fire is like sort of going inside of his mouth, and he does not notice as Claudia sort of walks forward, takes the gun out, and fires.
Click, click, boom.
Um,
His head.
the The gunshot passes cleanly through the head. The tattoos on his body fade a little bit, and he sort of looks over at you and hits the ground. And as he hits the ground, the beings around him still stay standing.
Huh.
And that's when you hear the screams coming from outside. And
She's right here.
these beings start lumbering forward
Toward us?
towards you.
Wait, from outside or the ones that are already
The
inside?
ones that are already inside.
None of us can go outside. The sun's coming up.
Yeah. Can I? If he's down and
Go ahead
out,
and roll another d4 for me.
if he's down and out, can I like?
Oh, 4. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. That brings us to 7.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
Thanks.
You rolled a 4 too.
She rolled a 5.
I rolled I rolled another
D6.
D6.
Well,
All right. It is 7 minutes until sunrise.
right.
Oh my god.
Oh, is the sun's not out yet?
No.
Can
You're
I
feeling
get,
it start to come up around.
Can I quickly run outside to see the screaming is? Because I can throw ribbons outside.
Yeah. What are you doing first?
Oh, well, sorry. A question for Meredith before Lee does anything. What direction does the bar face? Please don't say east.
It does not face east.
Oh, well, that's to our benefit.
Yeah.
So
It's a vampire bar.
It's a vampire.
hopefully it faces west.
Oh, good.
Okay, so
That was the first requirement when
the
Chloe was
original
buying
plan
it.
was to drag the guy back into the kitchen, but upon seeing what just happened and him taking this kind of injury, and it affecting the rest of everyone, she's probably just like hold off on dragging him into the kitchen and resurrecting his dead corpse and talking to him. But then
She has that power. I gave her that.
Thank you for
Thinking
that,
she was going to
darling.
use it.
But instead is probably going to look for anything wherever she is in that little nook that could be used as an improvised weapon. So she doesn't carry anything.
Give me a pull to see if you can find an improvised weapon,
Okey
or I can
dokes.
give you the first thing that I thought of, which is not that good.
It's a chair.
I've done more with less.
Done more with less.
Dear diary.
Oh no.
Dear diary,
Ooh.
thanks for coming to
One
my
On this side, honey, there's a
Top.
nice loose one.
That is
One
a
more up.
shaky
Up,
little
up,
tower.
over my end.
Ah,
Easy,
careful.
More to your 9 o'clock.
You can always abandon a pull.
You know what?
Thought that was a loose one. I was wrong. I've been wrong a lot this game.
My favorite is you not putting your drink down, but taking all
Taking all the rings off and not putting the drink down.
Listen, the rings aren't hindering my movement. The drink was just balance, whatever. All right, so here's my buddy right here.
Oh my god.
Talk sweetly to it, Mary.
Hi, sweetie. Hey, you know what? You're a good brick. You're a good brick. Yes. Oh, yes, you are. And thank you.
You're a dirty little tower, but a good little brick.
You see this bottle of booze that Remy had stashed away and stuff like that, and you realize that in a pinch you could use that. So you go to grab the bottle, and as you go to grab the bottle, you sort of like notice that there's a little portion of the wall that's a little askew, and you hit it like this, and you recall a couple of times Remy like hearing a knocking sound coming from this, and as you do, the wall panel falls down, and Abigail, his pearl-handled
Wait, why doesn't
gun.
Remy have Abigail right now? Scandal. Yeah, no,
I
definitely
feel like
going.
this was placed in the beginning.
Definitely going to
He doesn't need it anymore.
I'm definitely going to eye Abigail and grab it.
The gun.
All right, so she grabs Abigail and starts checking her out a little bit. No, grabs the gun.
No, we're in the nook, not the booth.
We're in the
Different
booth.
place.
Starts rubbing the handle of
arm,
Abigail.
yeah.
The arm of the gun. So,
Good
okay,
old gun.
you've got the gun in
Good
your
girl.
possession. These beings start to sort of creep forward in sort of shambling movements. Jet, one of them grabs you by the shoulder and sort of brings his head down as if to bite your shoulder.
There's zombies.
He's just gonna punch him. He's gonna do it as hard as he can.
Okay.
He's freaking out.
So you
point.
reach back and you sort of punch, and as you punch forward, that hand just goes straight through the head and
With
out the
the
other
hole
side.
in their head.
Through the hole in their head where they've been shot, and as you go to punch them, it goes through and it busts out the sort of the back of the head, but it gets stuck.
Can I just like Mortal Kombat this and pull up the spine?
So you're gonna go down. You're
Well,
gonna
if
go
I'm
down.
if my arm is still cut, I can just lift it up at this point.
Sure. So you guys watch as Judd sort of like reaches forward and then goes, finish him, and like reaches forward and does a face
What the
palm
fuck?
I've got a spine now. I got a weapon.
and starts swinging the spine like this around.
And you said we're the monsters. Look at you. And I'm going to run outside real quick.
You go to the front door, and as you open the front door, you see 30 or 40 individuals that are shambling down the street towards you. And you notice that they all are in different sort of states of decay, but all of them have identical bite marks on the sides of their neck.
It's zombies.
And as you go out the front door, they all sort of turn and look and sort of cock their head and make eye contact with
I'm
you.
going to close the door and run back in. It's vampires versus zombies.
As you say, it's vampires versus zombies. The jukebox kicks in and starts playing Hank Williams.
And Lee's soul withers.
And as Lee's soul withers, the back door is sort of burst open as zombies start pouring in through the back door. Zombies start pouring in through the front door. The ash on the ground starts to swirl a little bit, and as that ash starts to swirl into form,
Button! Remote! Where's the remote?
Remy stands up in his ashen form and looks over towards Abigail and lunges forward.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, and grabs her by the neck and sort of lifts her up like this.
How is Remy within Lee's line of sight?
Yes, he is.
That's happening. So, whatever you're about to do, I'm taking the next action.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, she's gonna fight him, but whatever you're gonna do first.
Oh, well, Abigail's gonna take Remy out so Abigail can get out of Remy's grasp.
He's in an ash form now. He's not corporeal.
It can disrupt his attention, hopefully, is what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
going
try
for.
it.
Shoot her with Abigail. I mean the gun.
Ah, yes.
So why'd you name your gun Abigail? Come on. So confusing.
Gee, I
Because the
wonder.
only person he ever loved could be at his side for all time.
And Mary
I've
Person
always done it
dies.
for you.
So what do you want from me?
You're gonna take a shot. I don't think you're formally trained in firearms.
Not even
all right.
close.
So
I'm
you're gonna
asking
need,
you, what do you want
you're
from
gonna
me?
need to make a pull
Okay.
as you sort of take this gun up, sort of
The
aim
middle
Abigail
one,
forward and take a
fourth one
step
down.
towards Remy, who is holding up
Fourth one
Abigail
down.
by the side, and you see this as he's sort of grabbing her by the neck. I will say you notice, and everybody who's paying attention to him, you three, and you're a little preoccupied at the moment. You'll
Being choked.
You'll
and all
notice
that.
the white tattoos that are starting to creep up his arm.
Oh no,
Remy's on?
ma'am.
Yeah,
Really
and
now?
other arm, and up the legs a little bit.
Okay.
Like,
All the dead.
We have to kill the
wait, the
tattoo.
body of the person I just finished. Do they still have their weapon?
yeah.
I'm gonna take the weapon.
All right,
Think
pull
about that.
pull a brick.
Why am I using a spine?
It's
got
got to be 3 complete rows.
Yeah,
So that
but
counts.
that's
Yeah, that counts.
Mine is so much more.
I
cool.
read the
I mean-
rules before I came.
I know you did.
I was hoping like for some inspiration points for doing fatality.
That is a shaky little tower.
Just having a hard
Yeah,
day.
you're a shaky little.
It's a nice little brick on a dirty little tower.
Good baby.
I don't think we've ever had anyone sweet talk the bricks.
No.
You've never had me
never.
over for Dread.
I'm terrible.
Um,
I'm gonna run
You take Abigail and hold it up like this, and as you sort of look at Abigail, Remy sort of turns around and looks at you, and there's this feeling of content as he sort of like lets go of Abigail as the bullet sort of shoots forward. He sort of, with a last bit of movement, sort of redirects so that he shifts towards the bullet. And as he shifts towards the bullet hits his heart, and the tattoos dissipate and hit the ground.
They fall off entirely.
They fall off entirely and hit the ground
tattoos.
and start wriggling like little white snakes on the ground. And as Abigail, you are dropped to the ground, these little tattoos are just sort of coiled on the ground, sort of moving of their own accord.
Does Claudia remember the button that makes everything go boom?
Claudia was never told about the button
Yes, she
that
was.
makes everything go boom.
Yes, she was.
No.
Super crazy powerful Claudia was aware of the button that makes things go
Not
boom.
fledgling, not teenage
Not
fledgling.
fledgling little mini like baby
You
Claudia.
tried though.
I tried.
That was really
I wish I
good.
knew what side effects makes tattoos fall off.
Burn the tattoos! Burn the tattoos! Person who has fire!
I burn them with fire.
Okay, so all of a sudden Abby sort of reaches forward, and as she does, fire sort of erupts around the floor. The tattoos scatter to the winds. So Abby, I'm going to need you to make a pull while you Lise, why don't you roll that D4 for me one more time?
My word.
This tower is in such great shape. I'm gladly gonna make a poll because this is gonna be awesome.
Hey, give me just a second to drop this before you do that. Okay.
It's not a 4.
We are
4.
we are down to the number 4.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Abby sort of steps forward and a la Firestarter, her red hair starts sort of like swirling sort of around her, and as she does, as these snakes start getting picked off the ground as one slithers away, she almost pulls out the facsimile of the gun from her side, and as she does, the fire erupts from the gun. She uses it as a channeling force.
Nice.
So it'll bang, 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 and as they're starting to burn off, there's this feeling as every time one of the tattoos sort of ignites in flame, one of the zombies sort of like moves backward like it's been hit. And with every destruction of a white snake tattoo, the zombies all take a step backwards and one crumbles to the ground and
Hearing my
screams.
snake tattoo, and I've got music and like. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Claudia is
and
aroused.
bam, 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 until none of them remain, and all of the zombies are sort of frozen in place, standing still.
Okay.
Everybody, we're gonna take turns. Roll a d6 for me.
2.
2.
1.
Woo! 4.
You all look around the room, and all the zombies have stopped,
Okay.
and a little tiny white string ribbon starts climbing up Claudia's leg. It implants itself in her skin
Oh, gross.
and starts moving up her body, and the glitter seems to be repelled by this string as it moves.
Before it even gets far, like as soon as I see it, I'm sorry, Claudia. As soon as because she'll heal, she's a vampire. So as soon as I see
I haven't
it,
healed from
her
this
leg-
yet. My finger's still
I haven't
open.
thought
gonna
about
have to
that.
cut off
It's
the
on her
limb.
leg.
Ah.
It's
Oh
on
crap! Well, it's already up there. I'm not
side.
gonna crawl up the side.
It's up. It's moving on her neck now.
Panic! I don't know how to do anything with my powers yet. I just got them.
And Claudia's dead.
And
It's in my head.
Climbs up, climbs
I'm
up,
stumped.
climbs
It's in
up,
my...
and climbs into the head.
Ah!
And as it stands there, Claudia, eyes go white, and she looks over at you, and she brings her hands up to her head
goodbye, you.
and rips off her ears.
No!
And as she does, the zombies sort of stop what they're doing, shake their heads, and continue their assault forward towards all of you. As Claudia makes her way forward towards you.
No!
Oh, jeez.
You can see
Do I still have my vampire powers?
You do. You see a sliver of hair on her head that is a bright white sliver.
Great. I'm gonna look at Abigail.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use charm. I'm gonna be the bad guy. You're gonna be the bad guy. And she's like, I'm using charm against the charmer. It's fine.
Jed's kind of feeling confident now that he fatality'd somebody. Kid.
Abby.
I'm going to.
Nope.
Oh.
You're gonna walk forward.
I'm gonna walk forward.
Abby just starts walking towards Claudia, who's beckoning her.
I just start walking towards Claudia, who's beckoning me.
Do I see this little strand?
You do.
Do I see
yank
some
it out of your,
action
I'm gonna yank it
from
out of your
Ryan?
head.
Yep.
I'm gonna go for. He's feeling confident after fatality. He's gonna try to go run for the yank.
Okay. So Jet walks forward and grabs that piece of hair on her head and yanks it forward. As it does, your consciousness comes back. Abby stops going forward. Nope.
Ah! No!
Oh no!
Burn him! I
Came
don't have balls.
outside.
Over your eyes.
My ears.
He started this anyway. Let's just.
Ow!
Jed grabs a potion from inside.
I didn't know I had this on me.
Yeah, from inside the jacket pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And as he does, there is a laugh that sort of echoes around the entire room
Wait.
as he uncorks the lid
I know what this is. Son of a bitch.
and chugs that potion down. And there is a burning sensation unlike anything that you have ever felt in your entire life.
Bye, Joe.
Now here's the deal. You can't die unless the tower knocks down. But you're gonna wish you were dead.
Oh, goody.
As
Jed, no!
your healing abilities that are innate to you start fighting against the holy water that you just chugged down. Fighting against the insides of you. And you just see Jet start writhing on the ground. As parts of his
put him out of misery.
parts of his face start like burning off,
Oh, so gross.
and then reforming, and then burning off again and reforming.
Oh, Jed, no!
Give me a D4, please.
Oh, we got 4 minutes left. Come on.
Please don't. Please don't.
Come on.
Please don't.
Roll low.
If I had known I had holy water
Roll
on me,
low.
2.
2.
2 minutes left as the sun is starting to peak up above
Just burn
the
him,
horizon.
put him out of misery, burn him alive, burn the tattoo, burn it! Fire!
How
Do you
good
want
can
me
you
to
control?
burn you?
How good can you control your flame though?
He's dying.
I have no choice
He's
at this
in
point.
misery.
How close are you to the bar? Can you use the water squirter to put him out?
Stop!
All of you are going to need to make a pull now as the zombies have sort of like gotten close to you and have all started like
Go
attacking
ahead.
you.
You guys can do it.
I'm gonna start going to zombie, just like snapping necks, trying to put him down.
Okay. Actually, you know what? That's within your ability, and they can't really do a lot. So, what do you start doing?
Oh, great. From the note,
Man.
how many rounds are left
How'd I
in
know?
Abigail?
Yeah.
You're like
No,
burning.
how many rounds left in Abigail?
5.
Okay. Then that's what she's gonna do.
She just starts taking pot shots.
Yeah.
All right.
From her little hidey hole in the shadows.
Yeah.
Do you have to call for that? Does she have
Do I
to
need
call
to-
for that? No.
No, she doesn't need to make a
Cool,
roll
okay.
for that. I'll just say that in the moment you're putting them as close as you can. You don't have to really aim and
Cool.
stuff like that. You need to either make a pull to do whatever you're going to do with that, or I will grant you can either have your action or you can have the perception check.
There's like 30 more outside. I forgot to tell you guys that.
Perception check. Hi, call sign.
Hi, call sign. What's up, dude?
Poor Jed. He's just having a rough
Oh
one.
my gosh.
No,
Oh my
no,
gosh,
no,
the whole
no.
tower twist.
And 2 people died that day.
No.
Nope.
No.
That's the one I just tried.
Go,
I forgot.
go the middle one of that one you just tried. Try the middle one.
It's a dirty little
Nope.
tower. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Look at
Tracy.
that.
Hey, beautiful. Come here. Just
Talk
It's
to it,
okay.
you're
I don't sweet talk these.
No,
No,
call
sweet
for
talk. I tough talk. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you're gonna go back up top there, Brick. Whatever.
Hey, Abby, you burned off all those tattoos super good. But this bar is made of wood. And you just
Rat, I just
spent
set the bar on fire.
as you guys all sort of turn to the left,
Charge.
the entire bar is on fire. Abby, give me one more D4, please.
I heard that.
What?
1 minute left as the sun starts rising above. As that happens and the bar sort of catches on fire, there is a rush of movement into the room. as a figure sort of runs into the room, and faster than you've ever seen anything move in their life, it is just a swirl of white fabric and dark hair. As a figure starts taking zombies and throwing them out of the room, burning them alive. The front door is open, and as you see the carnage of what has to be 50 or 60 beings littering the roads, pushed off to the side. This being starts moving around.
New vamp, who dis?
Or old vamp. We just don't
Am I
know.
at the point like
What's
incapacitated at this point? Can I just not do anything?
As the holy water moves through your system, your healing abilities that are innate to you, because of the potion you drank all that time ago, forces the water outside of your system. You start sweating profusely.
You're
and as
sweating
it does,
holy water.
As it does, you are back.
Huh.
Yeah.
Science.
This
Science, yay!
this being walks over. Its features still somewhat blurry. Goes over to a side panel, rips off a side panel to the bar, and behind it is a large metal door, and it says "Panic Room." And as it flips open the sign, it grabs first you and sort of shoves you across the floor into the panic room.
I'm panicking.
And into the panic room. It grabs you and sort of pushes you forward towards the panic room.
Okay.
Grabs you, pushes you forward towards the panic room, and comes up to you. And doesn't touch you, but points towards the panic room.
You're a fire starter. Please follow the way.
I want to take this thing out though. I need a sword. I would have cut off its neck. Like,
Wait, is it still on me?
It's not.
I want to take
It's
the thing
gone.
out. I want to, but I don't have. I just have a gun. It's a tiny gun. It's not a good gun.
I have a big gun in here.
Hand me that D4.
Oh, no.
Abby, what are you doing?
The sun's
What
rising.
am I doing? I'm
Abby's
gonna
saying-
run in the stupid panic.
As Abby runs towards the door is shut behind as sunlight erupts into the bar.
Oh, 3.
As it does, the figure sort of stands there, looking through the little porthole and closes the door shut, turns the wheel like this, and turns to face whatever is sort of crawling along on the floor. And as that happens, there is a gasp as Rosetta.
Oh my god! Join us, Rosetta. Here.
Enter
You're
player
gonna, you're
4.
gonna have to squish in a little.
Oh darn.
As Rosetta wakes up from her vision.
Wait, from what? What? From her what?
Vision.
Vision.
We're gonna have talks.
Rosetta looks at the bar and sees her friends sitting at the bar. It's Abigail, it's Jed, it's Claudia, it's Lise, and they're all sitting there, and Remy is sitting there enjoying drinks, and Rosetta goes over to the wall and sort of knocks on the wall a little bit and finds like a more sort of solid spot, and that's when you hear dum, dum, dum.
No.
That's Groundhog Day all over again.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of NFK. We're going to try something for NFK. We're going to do quick, fun stories, about an hour in length, no intermission, something that you can listen to and watch. Rosetta, thank you for joining us for a little cameo. It would not be a game set within the Green Fay Tavern if we didn't have all of our vampy friends. But thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for this story.
I'm gonna pull stuff while you talk because this tower's gotta fall at some point, right?
Oh, we have to now.
We should take turns.
Oh my
until
God.
he makes it fall, right?
Alright, go slow.
Not
I'm
a
sorry.
way, man.
I just see that this is not going to end well. So
No,
I'm
it's
going to be
not.
over here drinking and eating my cherries.
So
There you go.
while I was practicing for this,
All right, it's my turn.
Go ahead.
I was taught a
Do you want to
technique
jump
where
in?
you flip
Oh, it's
one of the
hand. I
bricks.
forgot about the one hand thing.
We need to try the flick. Hang on, I want to try this.
Do it.
Try this.
Come on.
Somebody hold my drink.
Oh my drink.
As all good stories start.
I'm gonna taste it.
Okay. The flip?
Well, that
What
is
the flip?
downright unpleasant.
The best one probably is this one right there.
Yeah, there you go. And then come from. No, that one was a good one. This
This
guy
one?
right here. And then angle. Come
What
back.
are you
Come
doing?
Hang on. This one might be.
No, I'm not sure if he's
There you
tried
go.
the
No,
flip
there
at
yeah.
this level. Yes! Yeah, but then where are we supposed to get it? It's all the way over
That's
there.
where we're gonna end the episode, folks. It's not gonna get much better than this.
As it keeps going.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you tune in for another episode
Oh,
of NFK, Not for Kids, as we try out different games that you played in your childhood and use them to tell interesting and fun stories. So
Come back.
come back and join us another time. We love you, and we'll see you next time here on the Indigo Chameleon channel. Right, one more flick.
Do it.
Oh my god, you're gonna kill it.